Welcome to Lesson 11 in the Course in Miracles. And thank you so much for subscribing and commenting and liking. That's the fuel for lifting this to the wonderful level it is to read these lessons. And actually, I have listeners, and that's all I need. It's wonderful. So thank you. Subscribe, comment. Comments are wonderful to get the view lifted, to get new thoughts and see what do we have in common. Because we have so many things in common as students of this text. Okay, I go ahead with it now. Lesson 11. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. This is the first idea we have that is related to a major phase of the correction process, the reversal of the thinking of the world. It seems as if the world determines what you perceive. Today's idea introduces the concept that your thoughts determine the world you see. Be glad, indeed, to practice the idea in its initial form. For in this idea is your release made sure. The key to forgiveness lies in it. I'm getting goosebumps here. And I remember that I had this heightened feeling of awe when I read this before. Now it's some time since I did it. And for new viewers, I've been studying this for more than 3 decades. And now, when I'm digging into the text and in this forum, it's a long time since and a long time is like a year and a half since I read these lessons. So every time I go for a new video, it's fresh. But I remember this one because it gives me such a feeling of that this is for real. What we do is real here, and the world is unthreatened. So, and as many of us may have come into contact with about the Course in Miracles, nothing real can be threatened. And nothing unreal exists. There is a divine peace in that. And I will go back to these sentences in another film and video. The perception is the key word here, as I see it. What I perceive determines the world. Well, I'll go into this again. I will go ahead, and then maybe I'll go back to this first one. Not to get stuck. I used to be very good to get stuck in these texts, and I'm not going there too much now. I hope. The practice periods for today's idea are to be undertaken somewhat differently from the previous ones. Begin with your eyes closed and repeat the idea slowly to yourself. Then open your eyes and look about. Near and far, up and down. Anywhere. Look anywhere. During the minute or so to be spent in using the idea, merely repeat it to yourself, being sure to do so without haste and with no sense of urgency or effort. What happens to me now when I read it is that I get so eager to get to the freedom of this and to get to the inside and to, because there is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opening here. Beautiful world. There is a beautiful world opening in these words, in this text, in this lesson. And what will come after it is even more. I know that is even more wonderful. So I'm getting eager to, I'm looking up and down and far away, and there I will, a new world is there already. So I will take it slowly. And now I'll go on with the text. To do these exercises for maximum benefit, the eyes should move from one thing to another fairly rapidly, since they should not linger on anything in particular. The words, however, should be used in an unhurried, even leisurely fashion. I love the word leisurely. Leisurely. It rolls wonderfully on the tongue. The words, however, should be used in an unhurried, even leisurely fashion. The introduction of this idea, in particular, should be practiced as casually as possible. I like casually too. It's also a wonderful word and it rolls great. Casually. It should be practiced as casually as possible. Who doesn't want a lesson who you can do casually? I do. It contains the foundation for the peace. Here we go. It contains the foundation for the peace, relaxation and freedom from worry that we are trying to achieve. I didn't understand that sentence. It contains the foundation for the peace, relaxation and freedom from worry that we are trying to achieve. Now I got it. The melody of the sentence made it fragmented. I didn't understand it, but I hope you understand it. Because it contains the foundation for the peace, relaxation and freedom from worry that we are trying to achieve. That's not bad. On concluding the exercises, close your eyes and repeat the idea once more slowly to yourself. Okay, so I will do that when I'm not in a video, because sitting here closing my eyes, I couldn't read the text, and there are a few sentences left. But I will continue this exercise with closed eyes and meditate on them for a while after this lesson. Now to the practice periods for this one, for this leisurely relaxation, retreated, wonderful, doing the lesson the way I want. I will go on. 3 practice periods today will probably be sufficient. However, if there is little or no uneasiness and an inclination to do more, as many as 5 may be undertaken. More than this is not recommended. Oh my, this is good news. Good old news. Every part of this text is reassuring and wonderful. I will go on. I will repeat the first part in the lesson, because it happens such a lift of light and clearness in me, and rest. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. This is the first idea we have that is related to a major phase of the correction process, the reversal of the thinking of the world. It seems as if the world determines what you perceive. So the world, it seems like the world has been determining what I perceive, and that is true. That is true. I remember as a small child, as a young child, I'm talking 5 or 6, when the intellect starts to fragmentize the world. At 2.5 or 3, we begin to build an ego, and the ego is not bad. I'm not in this idea that you should get rid of the ego. We need it, but as when the ego is an enemy to you and others, one can deal with this in wonderful ways. So it doesn't make you or others unhappy. So what do I want to say with this? Looking back on my life story, I know that I'm going into a bit of life story now. Anyway, I remember as a young child that when I first got this heavy, uneasy, grey, sorry feeling of something that I didn't recognize. It was new. Boom. It was nothing that had to do with going to kindergarten when you were 3 or 4, or somebody took your toy or said that you were that dress. Nothing like that. That was not comfortable at all, but we all have that kind of experiences. This was another age of 5, 6, like some heaviness. And maybe that was, or I'm sure, that at that time the idea that the world determines what I perceive started growing in me. And I will not go too far with this. I'm just telling myself, reminding me of that heaviness that I've been trying to, or been living with, or until in the mid-90s, when circumstances and some people opened my eyes for these kind of ideas. And as I describe in the texts on the YouTube site, I went to India, and something opened that made me understand that maybe the world is not determining what I perceive. I perceive it, and we all know how we feel when we open a newspaper and watch the news, or somebody starts talking about, oh, have you read this, or what is happening? We all know about that. And I'm not talking about living in La La Land here. Not at all. I'm talking about me taking part and I don't know what to say, but not reacting. That's easy to say when you sit in a nice room and it's cozy but we will go into that kind of we will. It's wonderful to have viewers into these kind of thoughts later. Anyhow, from what I understand and what I feel deeply inside in my soul, in my being, is that we do create the world with our perception. We are the world. It's a misunderstanding. The world is not out there. The creation, and I'm moved around by it like a football. It's the other way around. I am the world. And I'm not a football by happenings. It's the other way around. Though I need to extend my way of perceiving things to fully open all the curtains that I've been having to still be in the darkness, if I may call it that, a cozy darkness of doesn't have to be that way. Now I'm opening for the other way of being. So, good evening, Tokyo. May I have some reflection on this text and maybe on my reflections on the text?
Yeah, this is Tokyo here now, but it was an interesting text. It hit me, today, just thinking about our time yesterday, and we filmed the previous video yesterday, and I've been thinking about making new titles for the book for some reason. That's something that I said in the last video, I remember, when you asked me my thoughts, and that a separate title for the book could be reminders on how to see miracles, see the world as a miracle. Well, another title that I thought, I don't know why I'm thinking about different titles. I just started doing that. But one thing that hit me today was that the purpose of the book, it's very much on, and it could be a title, see how to see what's real as real and what's not real as not real. And so just me thinking about this, real things exist, but thoughts they're not matter. They shouldn't impact one if one doesn't choose to be impacted by them, or if they have no real connection with the real world. And so I thought it was interesting that, sometimes when one thinks about something and, gets sad or whatever, then you speak to somebody else and they tell you, well, do you really think that? Well, no, I don't really think that now that I said it out loud. But you did think that, and one did think that when one was in one's mind. And it has no connection to reality. But other thoughts and feelings that might be painful or negative, if they have a connection to reality, like somebody that one loved died, and one is sad, one doesn't hate that sadness. That's what I feel like anyway. That's not a really uncomfortable sadness. It might be uncomfortable, but it's not the kind of sadness that one wants to get away from, you know?
Yes.
But these thoughts and sadness, you know, pain and sadness and getting sort of depressed and down over things that one has sort of made up, those are the things that one feels really uncomfortable. At least for me, feels really. Those sorts of feelings feel really uncomfortable for me. But they're not real. Well, the situation that they're talking about isn't real. So anyway, it's just something that I thought about today. So that's all, I guess. Thanks.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Eckhart Tolle sometimes repeats in his wonderful teachings and speeches that if you understand the first sentences of this book, how this book is described before the lessons and the teacher's part and training books, then you don't have to read the book. And I will try to get this right now, because that is what you just said. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. And that is exactly what you said. So you don't have to read this book. But I do. And I love your reflections on it. And please like and subscribe and comment. It's such a wonderful co-creation. Thank you very, very much.